6 o'clock in the morning here on a Wednesday morning, and been a lot of excitement the last couple of weeks. We got these very wealthy, they're billionaires. They're spending billions of dollars to get into the just in that in this outer space, as they say, just barely outside our atmosphere for a couple of minutes. While these guys are doing this, and this is how upsetting this is. And I remember, I'm of that generation to where I remember our first space missions. I remember our first trip to the moon, our landing on the moon. I remember all those things. When I was young and I was caught up in the moment, I was excited about those things. Space travel, and then we had our fictional things like Star Trek and whatnot. And it was just really, oh man, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna do this. One day we're gonna go to Mars, and we're still talking about that today. And then the reality of life finally sets in. The reality of life. Our priorities are really not straight. This guy here, and then the other one, the Tesla guy that went up the other day. No, Branson, that's the one. Get these billionaires confused. So they both had their couple of minutes in space that invested just all these resources. And they kind of had this competitive thing, these private companies getting into outer space for a couple of minutes. And it's not just that. I do understand we have gained technology from our space program. I understand that. There's a lot of things that we enjoy today that we would not have had, possibly would not have had it not been for the space programs from our adventures out into space. The problem, though, is we're caught up in this, and we have all these issues that we're doing nothing about. We're making no headway. We still have all this stuff going on this planet, on this little ball, on this planet, amongst the humans. We have all this crap going on constantly. Not just a pandemic. We got the pandemic, of course, but it's not the first. Go back through history. There have been all kinds of pandemics, wiped out millions of people. War has wiped out millions of people. The United States of America has become, if it is not, it's very close to being the most violent nation on the planet. And we don't want to talk about that. We kind of recognize it, but we don't really say that. Yes, we have a violence problem. We got one side that's like, oh, they're just trying to put this in the news because they want to use it as a tool to take our guns away. And the other side saying, we don't want to take your guns away, we just want gun control. It becomes these hot political topic issues, and we're getting nowhere, quick. Every day, just in my state of Alabama, you go to the website, al.com, every single day in this state, murder after murder after murder after murder. Not counting all the other crime that takes place in we're far from the most populated state in the nation. And you got one side that's saying, well, people need to go to church. People need to believe in God. It's like, they do. We're in Alabama. There's churches on every street corner. There's literally a church within walking distance. No matter where you are in this state, you can pretty much walk to a church. And people go to these churches. The prisons in Alabama are full of people that believe in Jesus, believe in God. Oh, yes, it is true. But in the meantime, this top, as we call them, 1%, these billionaires, it's like little kids and their toys. They've gone to the space rocket Toys R Us and just barely got out of our atmosphere, barely got out of our gravitational pull, just for a couple of minutes. And yet all this crap continues on our planet. And it has for thousands of years. We're getting nowhere quick. We are damn good with our peripheral. We can develop technology. I mean, my God, look at this. This wasn't around when I was a kid. This was like, this was like science fiction. And it's real today. We're good with that crap. But we're horrible with the things that really, really count. And that's what the shame of this whole thing is. That's the arrogance, that's the ignorance of humanity. Because we're not making it. We're not. We can have, the vehicle will drive in we got this one rocket and shoot straight up in the air. And then, did you see that? The booster thing came and just landed straight up and down like that. Did you see? It's phenomenal. I'm not taking that away. It's phenomenal. But the sad part about it is we can do that, but we cannot do anything about this. We're not improving our relationships with our human partners on this planet, the same ones that we share this space with. We're all in reality brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. We're all here together living in this one house called Earth. We're trying to create a doorway to escape. And I remember when I was young, the fascination about, going to Mars, populating another planet. And then it hits you. If you're a thinking person, it finally hits you. We're just taking our problems with us until we learn, until we evolve, till we get to where we can live together and resolve these real problems right here on Earth. If we can't do it here, what makes us think we can do it somewhere else? Where do we get this idea that this changing location is going to make it better? So you and your wife are having this big, you can't get along. You have constant arguments. You have constant disputes. So moving to a different city is going to correct that. You have this ongoing angst with whomever. You have jealousies, you have hatreds, you have all this stuff going on, and you think that simply changing locations is going to change that. Somehow your whole persona, your personality just changes because you've got a new address. Oh, life is better because I moved. I've got friends that lived here in Alabama and they moved to another state. And they're doing fine in the other state, don't get me wrong, but as they put down the state that they moved from, now they're putting down the state that they moved to. They got neighbors that they've got a guy shitting somebody's yard or house. And they were putting down outlets like humans are humans. No matter where you take us, no matter what your address is, you're still human. Changing the address doesn't change the human. So these guys, as thousands of little children die each day from lack of clean water, just lack of clean water, these guys get their jolly little rocks off for a 2-minute visit to outer space, spending all these resources. And this guy just cracked me the fuck up as he's puncturing holes in our atmosphere. And as he's using all this, what kind of fuel is he using? What's this? And he's talking about the environment. He's doing, what's this doing for the environment? You're part of the problem as you jet around the world, as you do all these things. And you're talking about, hey, what you're going to do to save the environment? People, this is insanity. And I mean, like I said, I've always been fascinated what we're able to do. But our priorities and where we're investing our resources is totally upside fucking down. It's totally flipped upside down. We're not thinking right. If we can't take care of, let's talk. I've always heard this in the money aspect. It's like, I just need more money. I just need more money. Well, here's the reality. I was always taught that if you can't manage $100, you're not going to be able to manage $100 million. It's not always how much you make; it's how you manage what you make. We can sense we've got these unmanned craft got outside of our solar system. We're getting close-up pictures of these flybys of moons of different planets in our galaxy. We've had several visits to the moon. Boy, we were hot on that for a while, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, the reality is we ain't finding nothing on the moon. It's just barren freaking rock. We learned a little bit about it. It's like, yeah, it's all carbon. It's really nothing that we're not finding here on Earth. There's nothing to rape up there. We're not going to dig for oil on the moon. So what are we thinking? As these billionaires gleefully it didn't even take up all this investment, all this they put into this. This little trip took less time than it takes me to drive from my house to downtown Birmingham and back. And all the resources they spent, and all puncturing our atmosphere with these rockets, doing all this stuff, all the fuel it took to do this little ride. And he's got the audacity to talk about what his mission is going to do for our environment. People, I think we need to wake up. I think we need to see this farce for what it is. Because the reality is, just because you got billions of dollars does not make you a smart person. Just because you can build a rocket ship does not make you a smart person. It means that you've learned how to build a rocket ship. That doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you a problem solver. You can be a rocket scientist and not have a clue about life. And that's what's wrong with these spoiled bitches. They got all these assets, but they're just little kids. What can I do? I'm going to build me a new toy. Let's go for a jolly ride. I can create my own theme park. It's called 2 Minutes in the Outer Space. That's my theme park. They're going to start selling tickets to do this on a regular basis. You want to buy a ticket? Of course, guess what? You and I are not going to buy a ticket, are we? You and I can't even come close to buying a ticket, are we? When are we going to get serious about our problems on this home, the only place we've got to live? Every human being that ever existed, that we know of throughout history, lived their lives, lived and died right here. We got the atmosphere. See, we evolved on this planet. We are suited for this environment. It's not out there. We have to take some of our environment with us out there. And that's not the only thing we're taking as we go out there. We're taking all our hates, all our prejudices, all our fucking beliefs. We're taking all this bullshit baggage with us. We're not cleaning house. If we really wanted to clean house, we could do it right here without going up there. And again, I get it. We have gained technology. We've gained some things from our space industry. I get that. But in the big picture, we've not really gained at all. We still get sick. We still die. We still hate. We still kill. We still rob. We still rape. We still murder. Our prisons in the United States of America are overflowing because of people doing these things to each other. Some get caught, some don't. My little home state of Alabama here, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but we've got thousands of unsolved murders right here in this state. Thousands. Look it up, of unsolved murders. So it's not like we catch every murderer. The chances are on your street that you live or you work with somebody, you know a murderer. Never got caught. The odds are pretty good with that, given that there's thousands of unsolved murders just in the confines of the state of Alabama. I'm not talking about nationally. And what are we doing? Well, you can't bring back those that were killed, can you? They're gone. They're eternally gone. You can't bring back any of those thousand little kids that die from lack of clean water either, can you? For whatever disease that came upon them because they did not have access to clean water, you can't bring them back. They're gone. They didn't get that 2-minute joyride of all the resources spent. They didn't get to puncture the atmosphere with that. And we sit back in our little paltry little slave lives and get excited about this shit as we're making no progress, as we are still dying at 70, 80 years of age, and still we're battling the same bullshit we've always battled. We just sit back and we're spectators of this wealthy, selfish, greedy, arrogant bunch of men that choose to do this with their resources. And he's going to do what for the environment? Did you hear it? Did you listen to him? Like what he did is going to do something for our environment? I'm waiting for what? In the meantime, the shit goes on this planet. In the meantime, we're not getting anywhere. We got a great political divide. We got this great worship of material bullshit. You know, the American God is the dollar. Give me a break. It's not a Christian nation. It's a fucking capitalist nation. I've always said in Alabama, people know more about Alabama football stats than they do about the God they claim to worship. It's bullshit. It's about time we started calling it what it is. It's about time we started waking up. It's about time we started looking at these people that have control of all these resources and saying, wait a minute, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. There's people over here. They're starving. There's homeless people. There's all this crap going on. And you're having your jollies. You and a couple other people. And in the big picture, it's not going to save humanity. It's not going to save our planet. Don't be so egotistical to think that shit that you're, how? Please outline that somehow, how that's going to work. Please. Because all these people that we're ignoring right now, I'm not going to bring them back. Once they take that final breath, it's over. Their judgment day has come. Their Armageddon has come with that final breath. So that's what it boils down to. Our priorities suck. Our priorities really suck. I'm not impressed with this. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was impressed. Because I was an inexperienced, naive kid. I found it exciting. I'm no longer a kid. I have to see the reality of our world. I have to see the reality of humanity. These spoiled bitches still don't get it. And we let them get by with it. So there you go, folks. There's my little sermon. You claim to believe in God, but you're not going to wait on God, are you? God created this planet for man, but you want to escape this planet, but you can't get along on the planet. You're just going to take your shit with you when you go out there. These people that say they believe in God, believe they're going to live forever in heaven, You got an afterlife of eternity, then what are you worried about this shit for anyway? Why don't you pay attention to the teachings of this Jesus you talk about? This is far from anything that was Christ-like. Again, I always say it, Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And I'm not promoting Christianity. I don't care what you believe. Your actions do make a difference. Your beliefs don't matter. But if you're going to claim to be a Christian, I happen to know a little bit about that and the teachings given credited to this Jesus in the Bible. I have a little bit of history with that book. And I'm not promoting the book just by referring to it. I'm talking about it because most of these people are quote unquote Christians. But there you go. Another billionaire, 2 minutes in space, all these resources. And we're getting nowhere. We're getting nowhere. Yeah, I remember that trip to the moon, the excitement. Things were really pumped up. We were really on top. We were on it, man. We made it to we walked on the freaking moon. And what's that scripture saying? It's all vanity. That guy right there in that blue outfit and that cowboy hat, it's all vanity. He rode out in a capitalist society and he played the game super well. He gained control over vast amounts of resources and he punctured the atmosphere and he spent a couple of minutes just barely outside our atmosphere and barely outside gravitational pull, just enough to feel a little weightlessness. And we supported that. And today, another 4,500 little kids will die from lack of clean water, from lack of fucking clean water. Today, just in Alabama, there's more murders that took place. There's more rapes that took place. There's more greed that took place. There's homeless people. There's sick people. We're getting nowhere. All this is, friends, is WMD, weapons of mass distraction. Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a lot younger, more naive, and caught up in the bullshit, how excited I would get about this. Wow, we went into outer space. My God, we've been going into outer space. And we're still going to wars. We still have hatred. We still all this shit. We've been to the moon. We've walked on the fucking moon. We bought rocks from the moon. You can go see them. They're in different museums around the planet. And we still hate. We still have disease. Nothing has changed. Oh, wait a minute. We have a microwave. I'm sorry. We can push a button and heat something up. We got a microwave oven. Thank you, Lord Jesus. See you at your funeral. Think. That's the big thing you can do is think. And if you're a Christian, if you give a damn about that so-called Jesus and that teaching, and I don't care, but if you do, set the garbage aside and read Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Got any questions? Come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you.